Guys, so welcome to another puzzle solving series where I give you 5 positions in each episode and you try to solve them. Let's start with the first one. The rating is 2850 and can you solve it? So Black just played King G8 and it actually looks like there are a lot of troubles around Black's king, but you gotta execute it the right way. We gotta look at different checks we have. We have Queen C8, we have Queen 8, but again, nothing specific can be done because Black can take, let's say, Queen 8, King G7, Queen H8, King G6, and now then, there's nothing, White can't win any material, and probably the game will either end in some draw by repetition, triple repetition, or we can try and find the best move for white pieces. So pause the video and try to solve it. I'm showing the solution right now. So here we play again. The most obvious one is obviously take this pawn with the check, and then we gotta think more. So right now, let's say there was a pawn somewhere on G7 and queen was somewhere on E5, there potentially Queen D8 check. So if Queen D8 check, it will be a checkmate. So here again, I was first considering some Queen C8, but again King G7, Knight F5, King G6, Black will take the pawn. So here we gotta keep this pawn or sacrifice it the way that we can gain some advantage. And after some consideration, G7 is the move which wins the game, and the puzzle ends here because after, let's say, Queen G7, there's Queen D8, and Black can't do anything else. They resigned. And this was the first solution. Let's move to the position number 2. This position has an absolutely insane rating of 3200. And it doesn't look obvious what to do here with white pieces. Black just played bishop b4, they're threatening to take our knight on c3. But here, again, look for different checks. I was first looking at some knight c6 ideas, because then, you can't play king c7, because then knight b4, and if queen b4, there's knight d5 check, and white win the game. After knight c6, I was like, okay, d takes c6, and what do I do next? There's nothing I can do. So what other checks with my knight should I consider? Of course, obvious one. Again, sometimes the most obvious solution, the most obvious moves is the easiest solution. Knight f7. So again, the only move for the king is here. And now what other checks do I have? I have queen f5, and that's what I'm going to play. And the idea of queen f5 is that after d6, I'm not only giving this check to king on c7, I also kinda attack. I hide my hide attack, because then I have some discover checks, and if d6 would have been played, d6 actually loses due to knight d5 check, and I take the queen, and then I'll take the bishop. So Black play king b7, and here it's easily understandable. Again, Black try to take, but now I can pin this on b file, and if queen c3, I'll just take bishop c3, I just take with my rook and then take the bishop. So position is completely winning, and after queen b1, knight b1, Black resign. Let's move to the third position number 3. You can see the rating in the right corner. So white just played knight c3, and again look for different checks, discoveries, attacks, and obvious move is like we gotta play against this knight on h3. It doesn't look good here, so let's just attack it. And knight f4, and basically the whole idea of white pieces is that after rook f4 they have this g3 move, but again, alright, g3 is played. Unfortunately, we cannot play rook f8 because then queen g8, and we either lose our queen or our rook, so we don't want to deal with this. Instead, we play queen f6, and the idea of queen f6 is, let's say after queen g8, we can actually play queen f8 and then queen g5 and some rook f6, and actually we're winning the game. But after, of course, queen f6, rook f6, our rook is no longer under attack. Black took a piece and then won the game. Let's move to the fourth position of this episode. Alright, probably the easiest position of this episode. White just played king h4, their king is cut of the board. You know, they have 3 extra pawns, but it doesn't save them because this king on h4 is awful. That's the most awful piece on the board. And you know, chess is not about material, chess is about checkmating the skin. And here, you know, we first gotta look for different checks and attacks, but in this position actually we don't need to check first. So let's say queen f2, there's king g4, and now we steal, you know, the king will run away. Now if we just capture, let's just say we capture, are there any checks or attacks on our king? No. And g5 idea is so strong that white just can't do anything. If they try to pin us on 6th rank, actually, you know, we'll checkmate queen g5. And again, queen f5, they try to kind of set up some checks, right, and other ideas, but unfortunately for them, g5 is the move which wins the game, and this is the checkmate. Let's see the final position of this episode. Position number 5, black are up a queen, but unfortunately this king on h8 doesn't feel safe, and we have all sort of back rank ideas, checkmates. So here actually if we play rook c8, queen j8 takes, and you know, black are able to save the game and even win it. But you know, still, what other ideas can be connected with the c8 rook checkmate? So maybe we can distract this queen of this diagonal so we can go rook c8 and checkmate. And the move to do it is bishop f5. Now again, if king g8, rook c8, queen d8, rook d8 is a checkmate, and after queen f5 it's all the same because again king is in the corner, and after rook c8, queen a8, rook e8 is a checkmate. 2809, you know, very easy. I saw some more difficult puzzles. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Let me know if you solved anything. I'll see you in the next one next week. Bye bye.